Hello, welcome back to the breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from Europe, guys, and some huge reports. There's been massive power outages taking place in multiple nations here. You can see on your screen France, Spain, and Portugal experience massive nationwide power outages. Spain and Portugal are racing the setting sun as they respond to a massive, unexplained power outage that knocked out traffic lights, caused chaos on roads and in airports. Parts of France were also affected. Okay, so some of the major countries that were affected by this power outage was mostly France, Spain, and Portugal. But there's some other reports that even nearby, like Italy and some other nations, were also possibly affected by this. We're still waiting for official confirmation from authorities from all these nations to figure out what happened here. And it looks like maybe a power grid that linked all these countries together could have been affected all at the same time. Now, something we've been discussing a lot on this channel is Russian hybrid attacks. Okay, so could this possibly be Russia launching some sort of cyber attack? Maybe, maybe not. But some of the authorities from some of these nations are actually coming out today and ruling out the fact that this was not a cyber attack. So, what exactly happened here? We're even hearing that some of the electricity operators from like Portugal are stating that it was a rare atmospheric phenomena that took place here, possibly due to extreme temperatures. So we're going to talk about all these details here. I'm going to give you guys some information and show you some videos coming out from like France, Spain, Portugal, showing the power outages and how it's affecting people's daily lives. So let's go ahead and jump on over here real quick to Euro News. Let me give you guys some good info here. Spain, Portugal, and parts of France hit by massive power outage. Okay, this is coming out today, April 28th, 2025. It says right here a nationwide power outage hit Spain and Portugal on Monday, leaving millions without electricity. Reports indicate issues with European electric grid. This is what we know. Spain and Portugal experienced a widespread power outage on Monday, leaving millions without electricity in a snap blackout. In Portugal, official sources told domestic media that the outage, which hit around late morning local time, was nationwide, while similar reports emerged from Spain. Madrid's Barajas International Airport and Lisbon's Humberto Delgado was closed after being left without power, and telecommunications have also been affected, with residents across the two countries saying they have no access to mobile networks. Meanwhile, other airports have come to a standstill throughout the Iberian Peninsula, and flights from Brussels and other European cities to Spain and Portugal have been cancelled, leaving hundreds stranded, Euronews has learned. Numerous passengers have also been left stranded in the metro systems of the Spanish and Portuguese capitals, with trains stuck in tunnels between stations. Euronews Portugal reports the blackout has affected hospitals too, including Madrid's La Paz and multiple medical facilities in Portugal, with some being forced to cancel surgeries. So, I mean, look at that, guys. Just massive power outage. What happened here, and why did it affect so many nations at once? Definitely shows all of us how critically important the power grid is and how vulnerable it is to outages as well. I mean, affecting multiple nations here all at the same time. And some countries like Portugal were announcing the entire country had no power. So imagine that, guys. Trains being halted. Imagine gas stations, you won't be able to get gas. People's phones were not working. So many different services here being affected. It also says you're a source at a hospital in Setúbal, if I'm saying that right, told Euronews that the facility has a backup generator capable of operating for 8 to 12 hours in the hospital's critical departments. However, there is currently no water supply. The hospital has still not received any information on the power supply, when it'll be back, or how to proceed, and it also lost internet access. Citizens have been asked not to dial 112 unless it is a genuine emergency to avoid overloading the lines. The Spanish government has convened an emergency session at Moncloa and is monitoring the situation as it develops. And Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the control center of Red Electrica, the company that operates Spain's electric grid, according to our colleagues in Euronews Spain. The European Commission has issued a statement on Monday afternoon saying it was in contact with the national authorities of Spain and Portugal, as well as European Electricity Transmission System Operators Network, or ENTSO-E, to understand the underlying cause and the impact of the situation. As per EU legislation in place, there are protocols in place to restore the functioning of the system, the statement read. Following the massive blackout, we stand ready to support Spain and Portugal in putting their systems back on track, European Commissioner for Energy and Housing Dan Jorgensen said in a post on X. Power is already back in some regions. Network operators and ENTSO-E are doing everything possible on the ground. Solidarity and unity are key for our energy union. Okay, so there's more information on this article. I will cite it down below for you guys if you want to read some more of that. But now we're going to hop on over to X, and I'm going to give you guys some information from independent sources as well. So let's hop on over here to smart investing. Most of Europe has the power down. Okay, so they're stating Portugal, Spain, Greece, Germany, Italy, and France. Okay, so lots of countries here being affected. And again, what is going on here? We're still waiting for official confirmation coming out regarding this and what exactly happened that caused the power to go down in so many nations. Here's a report from Volcaholic. Breaking rare atmospheric phenomenon behind outage and disruption could last a week, Portuguese operator says. So this came out from Sky News today, and it says rare atmospheric phenomenon behind outage and disruption could last a week, Portuguese operator says. We've just heard from REN, Portugal's grid operator. It claims the outage that's affected Portugal was caused by a fault in the Spanish electricity grid related to a rare atmospheric phenomenon. REN says that due to extreme temperature variations in Spain, there were anomalous oscillations in very high voltage lines. It says this is known as induced atmospheric variation, which in turn led to oscillations which caused synchronization failures between systems. That led to successive disturbances across the interconnected European network, it adds. It also says that given the complexity of the issue, it could take up to a week for the network to fully normalize again. So that's insane, guys. Imagine if the power was out in your area for an entire week. I mean, maybe some areas might come back online, but some other areas could be possibly affected for up to a week, maybe longer. Who knows what's going to happen here? So definitely a big wake-up call to everybody around the world on how vulnerable electricity systems are and how they could easily just go down like this. It could be down for, days or weeks at a time. So I hope you're all prepared for that if that were to ever happen. Now from Cristiano Mora, I'm in Portugal. The whole country is without power. Okay, so this citizen here in Portugal posting on X, they have no power at all in the country of Portugal at the time. You can see this is 4:37 a.m. my time, and it's right around 10 a.m. or so at the time that I record this for you guys. So this is probably about 4 or 5 hours in, and the power was completely out in Portugal. Now from World Source News 24/7, breaking, Portugal's grid operator states it's impossible to predict when the power will be restored. Okay, so we're hearing on Sky News maybe a week, maybe longer, but considering the extreme situation we're looking at here, it could possibly be weeks or longer, which is very dangerous. So imagine no power for weeks. Now from World Source News 24/7 again, breaking, Portuguese development minister, the power outage affecting our country may be due to a cyber attack. Okay, so at some point earlier this morning, we were hearing that potentially could have been a cyber attack. It was not completely confirmed, but a lot of sources were saying, let's not jump to conclusion just yet. These were some of the authorities from some of these nations affected. And they weren't going to jump to conclusions right away, wait to do an official investigation, figure out what happened, and then they'll come out with a statement here eventually. Here's another report from World Source News 24/7 again. Breaking, Spanish Prime Minister, we have no answers and we are not ruling out any hypotheses regarding the power outage. Okay, so leaving all options open to figure out what happened here. So was this something that was planned? Was it not planned? Is it a hybrid attack from Russia? What exactly is going on here? Nobody really knows, and I'm curious to see what the outcome will be here. Now from World Source News 24/7 again, breaking, Spain's electrical grid operator reports that the power has been restored in parts of several regions, including Catalonia and Asturias, with gradual restoration ongoing after widespread outages. Okay, so a report did come out showing Spain starting to get their electrical grid a little bit back online. I think Portugal was probably one of the most hit here. Now from Liskovka, today's blackout in Europe is being called one of the biggest in recent history, according to the Financial Times. Millions of people have been left without electricity, and there have been serious disruptions to transport, communications, businesses, and critical infrastructure. Portugal's power grid operator REN claims that the massive outages were caused by extreme temperature fluctuations. So let me know if you guys believe that, if you think that's actually the cause here, or share what you think could be going on in the comments. Take a look at this. All right, so this is what it looks like in certain nations inside of Europe right now. Power completely out. You can see everybody walking around here using their phones as light. And hopefully they can get the power on here very soon. I've got more videos coming out to show you guys also. From Update News, supermarkets in Spain. Okay, so looks like we have a little bit of panic buying going on as well. People flooding the supermarkets in Spain to try to get food. And it looks like there is some power here in the supermarkets. So take a look. All right, so this is the definition of staying prepared and being ready for anything like this to happen. You can see everybody flooding in over here trying to get whatever they need right now, as nobody really knows what's going to happen here. How long is the power going to be out for? But it does look like maybe they had some backup generators to keep this supermarket with power online, or maybe just that part of Spain happened to get the power back on. Okay, so now from Military News UA, a massive blackout crippled Spain and Portugal, halting trains, knocking out traffic lights, and disrupting airports across major cities. Here's an 8-second clip of a massive traffic jam that was caused due to lights being down, or traffic lights, that is, excuse me, being down in some of the cities. Take a look. All right, so a frustrating situation this must have been with all these traffic lights not working and causing some traffic jams, even some of the cities in Portugal and Spain. So we'll move on to another update now from Ozone Defender. Authorities in Spain and Portugal state they have now ruled out a cyber attack for the cause of today's major nationwide power outage, which halted rail lines across both countries and resulted in the closure of airports in Madrid, Barcelona, and Lisbon. Okay, so yeah, I mean, what we're seeing here is basically Spain and Portugal stating there's no cyber attack that took place here. I mean, this is a pretty massive power outage, according to the authorities over here in these nations. So we've got a video here to show you guys of a rail car that completely shut down, and looks like everybody had to evacuate and get out of it as the power had shut down even this rail car. Take a look. Okay. So, all right, so also a little bit of backstory here on this location is I saw some other reports of people that were actually cutting this fence right here, and people that were driving by in their cars were actually bringing food and water supplies for these people that were stranded on some of these trains. So that's really cool to see that, you know, even some people passing by were willing to help out those who were stranded behind this fence coming off of this train. So very scary situation here, guys. Imagine if you were not ready for this. Now for Military News UA, Ukraine will help Europe in the fight against a blackout. We are ready to share knowledge and experience, including those gained during systematic Russian attacks on energy infrastructure, wrote the head of the Ministry of Energy of Ukraine, German Galushenko. Okay, so look at this statement coming out from the Ministry of Energy of Ukraine. German Galushenko, he put a post here on X, and he says, Ukraine is ready to assist in restoring the stable operation of the energy networks of our partners and allies in Europe. We are ready to share the knowledge and experience, including those gained during the systematic Russian attacks on the energy infrastructure. We are grateful to the EU countries for their support, and we are always here to provide assistance. Isn't that amazing, guys? I mean, Ukraine is just constantly being pummeled by Russian attacks all the time. Yes, they've gained a lot of experience, unfortunately, in a good way, but also unfortunately due to these attacks coming from Russia, hammering their electric grid. But yes, Ukraine does have a lot of experience in repairing their grid because repeatedly they're getting attacked almost every day. Energy grids all over Ukraine are just being shut down due to repeated Russian bombardments. So that's just amazing that Ukraine is coming out and willing to offer support while at the same time they're under constant Russian attacks every single day. So amazing for Ukraine to come out and want to do that for the people of Europe, especially in these affected countries like France, Spain, and Portugal. Now, I'm going to continue to monitor this, and if we get more updates, I'll do another video for you guys, give you more information, especially if we hear that this maybe was some sort of cyber attack. If more information starts to come out, that could be a very big move here forward, especially with the ongoing tensions between NATO and Russia right now. So let me know what you guys think about all these details down in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.